Welcome to the Right Hand Roadmap, the podcast for seconds in command of founder-led companies. I'm your host, Megan Long, owner of Second First. In each episode, we show you the path to success on your journey as the #2 leader in entrepreneurial companies. I am so happy you are here. I wanted to do a recap episode of our Second First Exchange Mastermind last week. I don't even have our studio set up. We normally batch record episodes, so this is a little bit scrappy, but I wanted to make sure to fit it into the schedule while it was all still fresh. Last week, we had Seconds in Command fly into Nashville, Tennessee. They invested time and money to come stay at the Joseph Hotel for a few days and really immerse themselves in a cohort. These groups, we call them Second First Exchange. These groups are no more than 12 members at a time and no overlapping industries. So not only are you learning from people in completely different businesses, but you also can be as open and honest as you want to be without worrying that there might be a competitor in the room. So this particular cohort was about half and half. Half were from trades companies, and the other half were from professional services businesses. So that was really cool. The fact that there were so many takeaways from each different type of business that the other could apply, even when it wouldn't seem obvious. And all of these businesses are founder-led or entrepreneur-led. When we pulled the median, so the middle point of revenue of these companies, it was about 9 million in top line revenue. So I mean, you obviously have your high end and you have your low end, but if you take the true middle point, that gives you an idea of the size of these companies. Something that was cool was one woman even came to celebrate her birthday. It was on the actual date of the event, and we were out to dinner, and I was like, "So what are you doing to celebrate your birthday?" And she's like, "Well, I'm here." I thought that was really neat. And again, all of this was made possible or additional value was added thanks to our sponsors, 90 and Withum CPAs. I'm not going to go through the full agenda, but there was a questionnaire that was sent out about a month prior with a list of benchmarking questions, as well as 2 report projects. So the members had to work on that and then submit those in advance, which we then compiled along with our trainings. And then they all received about a 50-page workbook that had all of that information all in one place. So there are a few takeaways that I had from this event. So first of all, there is huge personal and professional value in putting yourself in rooms with the right people. And this was one of those rooms. We had a guest speaker, Duane Marshall. He was one of the very first EOS implementers. He then went on to be a founder of Pinnacle. He was in the room with us the first day and he gave a phenomenal kind of workshop style talk. But he called me right after day 1. We had just all gotten back to our hotel rooms and we were freshening up before dinner. And so he gives me a call and he says, "Have these people met each other before today?" And I was like, "No, they all met for the very first time this morning." And it was lightning in a bottle. Like, it is such a testament to, well, first of all, the vetting that we did on who was going to be in that cohort, but also I think the tone we set. We had very clear expectations and agreements that were set at the very start, both in confidentiality and just in how we were all going to interact. I made it very clear this was not a tough love room. Anything that was an experience share or advice given was going to be given from a very loving, caring place, and that this was a safe space for everyone to be open and honest and vulnerable. I'm also very confident that I personally am going to attract the right type of people into our membership. in checkouts after the second day. Uh, the common theme was, I'm so relieved I'm not alone. Or it's so nice being around people who actually get me because no one else really understands. Man, when I say it is lonely being a second in command, it is not an exaggeration. It is lonely. And at dinner, I told a few members my not sanitized origin story for Second First, and I think it deeply resonated that there's a lot of grit in that role, that we've all been through really tough times. And, when you go to a meeting like that or a mastermind like that, you might be going through one of those tough times. And how amazing to have a room full of people that understand exactly what you're going through and might have gone through exactly what you're going through and can help you. It just, like I said, lightning in a bottle. It was just, it was incredible. It was magical. The second really special thing that stood out to me was that I had the pleasure of showing these members what they deserve. There were a lot of comments about how nice things were, from the spread of food at lunch to our private dinner at a really nice restaurant in Nashville. Even our transportation for the week was a Mercedes Sprinter that had beautiful leather seats. There was nothing that I wanted to feel like it had been skimped out on. I think when you're an entrepreneur, you give yourself permission to splurge. Or that it's going to reduce your taxable income. So you might spend extra on the first class seats or whatever. You go on these nice EO retreats. That's not anything that your second in command ever gets to really partake in with you. And usually their metric or one of their KPIs is profitability. So they're going to be trying to, scrape pennies together because that's what they think they have to do. So it was important to me to not cut any corners while also being mindful of how I was using the budget. While I was able to curate an amazing experience for our members, don't forget that I am an excellent negotiator, right? But here's an example. So all of the attendees got these beautiful quarter zip pullover sweatshirts that were embroidered with the Second First logo. Well, we got so many samples from these, traditional swag companies where this is what they do. And the quality on these sample pullovers was just awful. Like, I would wear them and wash them just to test it. And I'm like, this is not what I want to put our name on. I don't want to put our logo on this. So I ended up bulk ordering beautiful quarter zip pullovers from J. Crew and bringing those to have them embroidered. So just because there's a path of least resistance when it comes to putting on an event doesn't mean that you have to do it that way. And I think that was the theme I made sure that our team followed when it came to this mastermind. And then the final thing that stood out to me is the importance of the balance in providing value and knowing when to step back and shut up. So we were just downstairs in the lobby at the bar. A couple people were getting drinks before we headed out to dinner. And a member and I were talking, and she had previously been a part of another large COO organization. We'll just say that. And she said to me, she's like, thank you for not just standing in front of us and talking at us the entire time. And I laughed, and she's like, no, seriously, I think you're great, but that's not why I'm here. We had our marketing team there and we had a videographer there, and she was pulling people to do testimonials throughout the event. And the thing that everyone was most looking forward to, and I think got a lot of value from, were the parts of the agenda where they could share and learn what each other was doing. So, yes, we had 2 trainings from the Second First framework that I shared, and there were a lot of great takeaways and like tools that we've created, but that's not why people were there. People can listen to this podcast. They can, go through our certification course. This is different. This is truly a mastermind where they want to be in a room that has been specially curated for them to get and share the most value. I had underestimated the value in me knowing when to just be quiet and facilitate. And I think that was really appreciated. In the coming months, you will see a lot more content from this exchange event. And we have some exciting changes coming to the exchange program that everyone in that room got to hear first. And based on their reaction, I am very excited to share with you. So keep an eye out from us on those announcements. The easiest way will be to either make sure you are on our email list or follow the company page for Second First on LinkedIn. To find show notes and anything mentioned in this episode, visit secondfirst.com/23. Be sure to subscribe to catch future episodes and leave us a review on whatever platform you are listening on. Remember, you don't have to navigate being a second in command alone when you have the right-hand roadmap.